Welcome to the Pain Prevention in Childbirth video series. Today, I'd like to talk to you about preventing pain. There's a difference between preventing pain and addressing pain if it were to arise. For now, we're going to focus on steps you can take in pregnancy to prevent pain. First off, pain is not always experienced in birth. It is one of the most common sensations of birth, but birth is not inherently painful. What this means is that someone can go through the entire experience of birth and not experience any pain at all, while other people experience a lot of pain. I've personally experienced a pain-free birth, so I know that it's possible. I've also experienced a birth that was really painful, so I know how important it is to take steps to prevent pain and to learn pain coping strategies for labor. Birth is intense, it is sensational, and it's often one of the most intense things a person believes that they can go through. But that doesn't mean it's inherently painful or that it's painful for everyone. However, sometimes we can take steps to prevent pain during pregnancy and we still experience pain in birth. There is always a point that we all reach where we must let go of control and totally surrender into the sensations that our body is giving us. And sometimes that does include pain. But there are tried and true evidence-based steps that anyone can take in pregnancy to prevent experiencing pain in birth. Let's go over them. The first is to prepare yourself emotionally for the journey of birth. So why is this important? Preparing for birth emotionally will help you feel calm and confident throughout the whole journey. And it will prevent you from entering the pain, fear, resistance cycle. Many of us are afraid of pain. Pain often means that something is wrong, but with birth, it's a little different. Sometimes pain in birth can mean something is wrong, but most of the time, pain in birth is actually a normal part of the physiologic process of birth. In fact, the sensation you're experiencing and you have the same goal: to get your baby out. Usually when sensations are increasing in intensity, it means that your baby is getting closer to coming. It means that progress is being made. So one way to look at it is that sensations and you share the same goal and you are each other's friend. Here's the thing about emotional preparation. If you have an emotional response of fear in the presence of pain, it may cause you to enter into some tightness if that fear response doesn't get resolved. When we tighten, resist, and hold tension in the presence of pain, it can make pain worse. Then we enter a super not fun cycle, right? Where the experience of pain causing us to feel resistance, causing the pain to be worse, etc., which ends up causing our labor to be harder or longer. This experience can be avoided altogether simply by working through our fear of birth before we enter birth. One of my favorite ways to do that is to practice self-awareness. Become aware of yourself and where you hold fear or tension in your body. Then, when you notice the sensation of fear, you can address it. For some people, just getting to the place where they are aware that they have fear, they are wanting to work through the fear, and they know where the fear is or what it's about is huge. So self-awareness is the first step. Sometimes if you feel fear, you can simply sit with it and explore it. Where did this come from? What does it feel like in my body? What is it about? Is it connected with a certain person or experience that I have? Do I feel the fear when I come home from doctor's appointments? Do I feel the fear when I talk to my mom about birth? Sometimes when we can remove ourselves from a situation that is causing us fear, that can really support the overcoming fear process. Oftentimes, fear is a sign that something is wrong, something is amiss. It's your intuition telling you not to move forward with the current path that you're on. Other times, fear simply means that there's something that needs to be worked through. There's either information that you need to learn to empower you and help you feel confident, or there's a deeper emotional process that needs to happen. Sometimes simply allowing yourself to accept what is and feel the fear. Tune into your heart's wisdom and ask what to do moving forward. Sometimes just tuning in with ourselves and feeling the fear will help it move through. Sometimes simply feeling it and trying to move on doesn't work. Sometimes we need support from birth workers, from therapists, midwives, friends, and loved ones. or we need to engage in daily practices to help us deepen self-awareness and overcome our fear. You can learn more about overcoming fear in the emotional preparation step of this course. The next step to preventing pain is to prepare your body. So why is that important? Well, preparing your body also helps you prepare your baby. Babies move through a 7-step process to navigate the pelvis. In order for them to be successful, they need space. This has nothing to do with your pelvis not being in adequate shape or whatever. Chances are your pelvis is perfect. However, sometimes people carry tension in the musculature that surrounds the pelvis, which can limit the space for baby. That can cause the baby to get stuck in maybe an unfavorable position, which can cause sensations of pain in the body that you wouldn't normally experience if the baby was in a better position. One of the best ways to support your baby in assuming a good position is to perform spinning babies. There are spinning babies exercises you can perform in pregnancy throughout your 3rd trimester, and my favorite ones are called the 3 Sisters of Balance. I recommend doing this regularly throughout your 3rd trimester, especially leading up to the birth. You can learn more about the spinning babies positions, how to do them accurately, and how often to do them from the Spinning Babies website or the Spinning Babies submodule in this course. Some other things you can do to support your baby in being in a good position is to float on your belly in the pool. Avoid sitting around on your back a lot. Make sure you're getting daily movement. I don't mean like hardcore exercise. I'm literally a cat in my pregnancies. But just going on walks every day and giving yourself some stretches. But gently encouraging flexibility, evenness, and balance in the body is good. You can do this with the spinning babies, chiropractic, massage, other forms of body work, and prenatal yoga. The last recommendation I have today to prevent pain in labor and birth is to avoid the use of Pitocin in labor, unless you believe it's necessary. There are certain circumstances where Pitocin is medically necessary. However, Pitocin is used differently between different care providers. Some care providers will give all of their patients Pitocin regardless of how fast their labor is progressing, while other care providers scarcely use Pitocin at all in labor. Pitocin is often recommended out of convenience rather than out of the best interest of the person birthing. Pitocin is synthetic oxytocin, which is known as the love hormone. It's the hormone necessary to help the uterus to contract. Pitocin can cause uterine contractions to be stronger and more regular and closer together. It can induce labor or it can augment labor, meaning it can get labor going a little faster if labor has already started, but it's either not moving quickly or it's stalling. There are natural and non-medical ways to induce and augment labor if you're interested in exploring different options outside of Pitocin. You can learn more about that in the Risks and Benefits of Intervention submodule. Pitocin does not cross the blood-brain barrier, and what that means is that it kind of skips over the body's own pain-relieving feedback mechanism that is happening in a natural contraction. So in a natural contraction, when you experience a sensation, the body will release the perfect amount of endorphins to match the intensity of that sensation. Endorphins are your body's pain-relieving chemicals. It's like a pain coping mechanism that is woven into your body. This way, in a natural contraction, your body will never give you a sensation that is more than you can handle, because your body is always matching the intensity of that sensation with endorphins. This process gets skipped over with Pitocin, which causes the sensations one may experience with Pitocin in their system to be much more painful in comparison to a natural contraction. This often leads people to get an epidural even if they didn't want one. Pitocin is sometimes introduced as something that is going to happen to you, something that's going to be given to you, rather than something that is an option you can choose to opt into or choose to decline. Pitocin is also sometimes given to people without them fully understanding the risks and benefits of that medicine that they're opting into. Know that you have the right to refuse medical interventions. You have the right to request more information. You have the right to request a second opinion, and you have the right to opt into medical interventions. Ultimately, it is your job to make the choice that feels best for you, and no one should be calling the shots over your body and your baby.